Hello and welcome to the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. In this time where everybody's at home, including racing drivers, we've decided to pit them against each other in the virtual world. We've got some of the biggest names out there, from Dario Franchitti to Jenson Button to Emerson Fittipaldi, and even Sebastian Vettel, the Ferrari Formula 1 driver, is going to be taking on the Legends Trophy. In the Pro Cup, we have stars from Formula 1, from the World Endurance Championship, from Formula E, going head-to-head in their own 5-week series. And then we have the Sim Masters category, which will see some of the fastest gamers in the world going head-to-head over the coming rounds. And of course, we have the Legends Trophy, which is where the likes of Franchitti and Vettel and Button will be going wheel to wheel. It's going to be really, really exciting to watch. These stars will face 2 races around the Malaysia circuit, one of them being a reverse grid race. But first our attention turns to the Pro Cup. A huge field of 43 drivers took part in qualifying. Alex Buncombe took pole and will start at the front of the grid. Let's join the action. The race is about to get underway. The first race for the Pro Cup in the Race All-Star Series. And away they go, and it's a good start from Buncombe. Gutierrez and Guerrieri are going side by side. Canapino is trying to get through as they get onto the brakes down into the right-hander. You're looking on board with Sean Gallard down at the back. There's a bit of contact, but I think everybody is safely through that first corner, and Gutierrez comes out on top in second place, just about. As we go on board further back in the pack, Alex Buncombe is away in the lead of the race. Gallard's having all sorts of trouble in the top right, and he's down to 30th place.
Yeah, Buncombe did it all right though at the start. He covered the inside. Oh, he's gone quite deep on the brakes, the man we're on board with here. But not deep enough because he's got whacked from behind, and then he's just rejoined like an absolute sadist and taken out another load. So carnage down at turn 3.
Esteban Gutierrez and Esteban Guerrieri are right together in the battle for second place, and Guerrieri in the yellow car, Gutierrez in the silver Mercedes, coming into the left-hander. There you can see Guerrieri in the bottom left, gets the cut back. The two go side by side again, and all of this is allowing Alex Buncombe to just pull away. Up at the front, Guerrieri's in the gravel. Can he recover? Just about, without losing a place to Seb Morris, who's up in 4th. So the Bentley team running 1st and 4th at the moment. Harry Newey's gone from 12th to 5th. There was all sorts of chaos on that opening lap.
Yep, Gutierrez though is still in second. He had a big lock up on the rear tyres coming into to turn 10. Good side by side through 11, but Guerrieri gave Gutierrez space, and Gutierrez I don't think gave Guerrieri a lot of space on the run up to turn 12 there. So Guerrieri lost out, but as you say, still maintains 3rd position ahead of Seb Morris, who's had a good start. Harry Newey as well, and then Charlie Eastwood rounding out the top 6. There's so much
all
action
kicking off
further down. It was tough to call what happened on the turn 3 incident there.
Yeah, all went chaotic in front of Anthony Davidson, who's now up into 18th place. Alex Buncombe still leading. Martin Plowman trying to defend from Tom Ingram as they come into turn 1. Once again, through the right-hander, as we're watching Tom Ingram trying to chase Plowman. He's gone. Ingram's off in the wall.
Oh dear, and that's with more damage as well there. These single-seater cars, they're a bit more frail than the LMP3s that they were driving last week. So that's bad news for Tom Ingram. And again, it was just getting on the gas with too much steering lock, and just basically big wheel spin on the rear, overcorrected and in the wall. So that's a shame for Tom Ingram. And they lost a few places, and Shawley's picked up some reasonable damage with that one.
Gutierrez 1.7 seconds back, so I think Gutierrez is closing the gap a little bit to Alex Buncombe. And there's a yellow flag out there in Sector 2. Harry Newey still running in 6th place with Nicky Thiem in 7th spot. 8th is Martin Plowman, Ben Yahir and Johnny Adam completing the top 10 at the moment. Gap at the front down to 1.3 seconds as Newey makes a bit of an error there and a bigger error there.
Same corner as Ingram, and it all started on the way in with a big lock-up. Then he got wide. Then he had too much steering to do on the exit. Still jumped on the throttle, had a big wheel spin, and round she went. So Harry Newey then was fighting the car a lot, and in the end the car won.
Still, the gap at the front is about 1.3 seconds between Alex Buncombe and Esteban Gutierrez. The closest battle still between Team Plowman over 6th place as Ingram tries to make a move on Gabby Chavez. No last chance qualifier for Gabby Chavez to try and win this week. What's he going to do?
He's going to be lost without it, isn't he? That pretty much brought him right into title contention in the last series. But now, I have to say, he's probably having a good drive here because he's spun on his qualifying lap. Must have started right down the back. And now he's 11th, charging onto the back of James Collado for 10th place. So Chavez is having a really good race. But that qualifying error, I think, has meant he's had to do a lot of overtaking and avoid a lot of carnage, which he's doing so well so far.
So we're watching Gabby Chavez in the bottom left. He's had that rig in inverted commas for many years, which is why it's fairly basic at the moment, but he's travelled all around the country with him. He's coming under big pressure from Tom Ingram as they come down the back straight in towards turn 1 and not able to make the move yet. Gutierrez though has now got the gap down to 0.8 of a second to Alex Buncombe in front, so I don't think it's going to be quite enough, to be perfectly honest, because we're on lap 5 of 7 now.
It could start to get tasty, and Buncombe will know this. He'll be able to look behind him and see Gutierrez getting closer and closer. And Gutierrez has basically halved the gap. Buncombe's got to deal with pressure, basically. How closely can Gutierrez follow with a bit of dirty air? At the moment, it looks like the cars are following not too badly as we look right back at Tom Ingram from the back of Gabby Chavez. He looks fine through that high-speed section. Not perfect, but we saw more issues with that with the LMP3, I think, last time out.
Here is Seb Prio running in 23rd position at the moment, and he's got a lot of drivers around him, quite frankly. James Collado is running in 10th spot. Points go all the way down the order, by the way, so there's a lot of opportunity for scoring points. They also have DRS in this car as well, once you're within a second of the car in front. So Gutierrez will get that assistance as he closes in on Buncombe, but how much of a difference is the DRS going to make? Gutierrez, though, whatever he finishes, wherever he finishes, has looked very quick here this afternoon. In fact, he and Buncombe have kind of been in a class of their own. So, lap 6 of 7. Oh, that's a mistake. Gabby Chavez is in the gravel, just drifted out wide, and that caught him out. And now he has dropped a couple of places down to 13th position and behind Harry Tinknell. Down towards the final corner. Final lap of the race now for Buncombe, and he's only 0.3 ahead of Gutierrez, 0.2 ahead of Gutierrez. The battle for the lead on the final lap is going to go right down to the wire in the Pro Cup. You can see Gutierrez in the top right, closing in on the race leader, Alex Buncombe. The tyres are going to be going away a little bit now as well as they get onto the brakes. Up into turn 4, Gutierrez so late on the brakes. Better on turning, better through the corner. You can see him just with your eyes, obviously, as opposed to anything else, but where the lap time's coming from.
This is the part. He's just got to stay close now, 4/10, and he might have another run into the final corner. There's a back marker ahead as well. I've got no idea who that is they're catching, but Buncombe better pray that he gets through right now, otherwise it might be a lot more difficult. And Gutierrez, Buncombe's not going, oh, he is, bit of a lock-up, but he's got away with that, Alex Buncombe. A big tank slapper on the exit as well. Here comes Gutierrez.
Final corner of the race. Esteban Gutierrez right behind Alex Buncombe for the lead. They've got just the left and then the sort of double right to go. We're on board with Gutierrez now. He's going to have DRS. Is he going to wait and go early? No, Buncombe spins it. Well, he gets it sideways and Gutierrez overtakes him off the circuit. And Buncombe gets back on the power, and he now, ironically, is in the best place, surely. He's tucked underneath the rear wing. He looks to the outside. Can't get there. Goes back to the inside. Can he find the inside at the final corner? Gutierrez turns in. There's Buncombe trying to get the drive out and across the line, but it's not going to be enough. Esteban Gutierrez wins in the first race in the Pro Cup, and he is delighted with that one. Buncombe second, Guerrieri's going to be third. Here comes Michael Benya here. There's 3 wide for, what is this going to be, 6th position. Team 5th, Benya here 6th, Morris 7th. So Seb Morris lost a couple of places on that lap. What a final lap. So Gutierrez takes the win, Buncombe second, Esteban Guerrieri in third, Eastwood 4th, Team 5th. There's championship points for all the way down the order. So it means that Esteban Gutierrez is at the top of the championship now. Esteban, congratulations. What a win right on the last lap. That was stressful stuff.
Yeah, it was really, really exciting. I mean, the whole race from the start, I had an issue with the brakes. My brakes went completely rearwards, and I didn't realize until half of the lap. So I was really struggling in the first few corners. And then I managed to get the rhythm. And yeah, I mean, it was a really, really tight fight until the end. It was tricky, especially at the end when I had to avoid, I had to go into the middle, into the inside of the corner, and it was really slippery on the grass. So yeah, it was tricky in the last two corners. Very exciting.
Great drive from Esteban Gutierrez, moving him to the top of the Pro Cup standings, but we're only one race down. When we come back, it'll be the first outing for the Sim Masters. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series, powered by Rocket Phones. We've seen the pro drivers in action. Now it's time for some of the fastest gamers in the world. This is the Sim Masters category. These are going to be the fastest lap times we'll see throughout the whole event. Jone Simoncic has taken pole position. Let's see what happens. The first Sim Masters race about to get underway in Malaysia. Simoncic on pole, Jojovski alongside him as the race gets underway. Think we might have had a jump starter further back, but immediately Erhan Jojovski is the one who gets the jump. Simoncic gets a very poor start. Jojovski fires off into the lead, and can Simoncic hold on to second place into the right-hander of turn one for the first time? He can. Huis is third. Romanidis is fourth. Oh, there's all sorts going on there. Arnie's upside down. He won't be back after that crash. And there's all sorts of chaos at turn two. Jojovski out in front. Simoncic second. Huis third.
So Jojovski then, the reigning series champ, straight into the lead. Bit of a twitch on the power out of turn three. And he's got Simoncic still right with him. But that's the first part of the job done from Jojovski. He's straight back into the lead, and it was pretty clean, really, at the front. Van Buren is up to 7th from 9th. I've got a feeling the jump starter might have been Kasdorp, potentially. But there was someone on the inside, I think it might have been Kasdorp, who immediately gained places and looked, for all the world, like he jumped the start.
Oh, bit of a slide there. Just about kept it all together did Rudy von Buren, who's up into 7th place then. I think Yuri Kastorp got out of shape there and dropped back a little as he was trying to fight with Rudy von Buren, who is in 7th place. Risto Capit 6th, Marocek 5th, Romanidis, Huis, Simoncic and Jojovski, the top 5 at the moment, and for some reason I read them in reverse order. There you can see Rudy von Buren in the inside in bottom left, and they're all trying to lose a bit of the slipstream of the car behind, aren't they?
That's encouraging because it means the slipstream's clearly worth something. There's a move coming up on the inside there. Who is that?
This is Romanidis. This is Marocek. This is David Marocek trying to pass Michael Romanidis for 4th position. Gets into the slipstream. Can he find the way through? Looks to the outside at turn 1. Marocek in the green car. Late on the brakes. No, he hasn't done that, has he? What a move from David Marocek round the outside at turn 1.
Beautiful stuff there, and he made it look quite easy in the end. Stopped brilliantly towards not running too wide and straight through. Lovely move.
Yuri Kastorp, replay of the start. Yeah, just a bit. That wasn't a Valtteri Bottas 10th of a second or whatever it was in Austria.
Yeah, it was the jump start, clearly. Maybe a bit trigger happy on the clutch there.
Lap 2 of 7. Erhan Jojovski leading the way. Rudy von Buren we're watching in the top right as he tries to get past Risto Capit. Looks to the inside into turn 9. And that's a fairly straightforward move there for Rudy von Buren. Nicely done. And that is now 6th place for the first winner of the world's fastest gamer. We're on lap 2 of 7. This is the Sim Masters Championship, which is going to be running over the next 5 weeks. And we're on board now with Bono Huis in third. And Simoncic is only 7/10 or so back from Yayovski. He's within DRS range of Yayovski. Huis is in DRS range of Simoncic. So I don't think this is over yet by any stretch of the imagination, as Dennis Lind in the top right is going to now try and overtake Risto Capit. We're on board with Lind down into the final corner. Does he go for it? Yes, he does. Does he make it? Yes, he does. 7th place. Yes, it is.
Easy peasy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Capit didn't look like he had much fight in him there at all. Lind was just ahead by the apex. Capit might fight back with a bit of a slipstream down to turn 1. Is he going to go for a late dive? He isn't. I think Lind was super deep on the brakes there with a bit of a lock-up. But lovely stuff there from Dennis Lind, up into 7th.
On board with Risto Capit, running in 8th place. What a replay are we going to see? Oh, this was the move from Dennis Lind. Just decisive and lovely, really.
Yeah, he kept his cards close to his chest, didn't show a nose at all, and I think Risto Capit just wasn't really expecting it. Just stayed on the racing line, didn't brake particularly late, no real challenge, and Lind basically really clean and a lovely move.
Oh, Lind into 7th place. Oh, not anymore though. He's got a wheel on the gravel, I think, coming into the right-hander, and he's now in the gravel.
I'm just going to stop trying to praise these guys, because the minute I do, they make a bigger error than the good bit just before. Lind there, I think you're right, they just touched the gravel on the left rear and again was on the lock stops, but this time not able to catch it. So that's a shame there, because he was having a great race, good pace, but all that hard work undone.
That was the view of Risto Capit, who is now in that 7th place, the AAA Esports teammate of Erhan Yayovski, the race leader. So that's going to be another dynamic to watch out for over the remainder of the season.
Look at that lead gap, though, 4/10. Simoncic is on a charge behind Yayovski. That's going to come down, is it, to just under 4/10 now, with Yayovski and big pressure onto the straight. Here we go then, in screen. Bono Huis has dropped away, and Simoncic now is going to have a great run up to the final corner.
Here they come. Simoncic, not close enough. Takes a wider line through turn 1. Is he lining it up for the rundown into... Sorry, through the final corner. Is he lining it up for the rundown into turn 1? Yayovski starts lap 5 of 7. He covers the inside. Simoncic goes to the outside. Can he do that round the outside move on the brakes? Oh, nearly. Yes, he has. What a move from Jurnej Simoncic. Moves into the lead of the Sim Masters here at the Race All-Star Series.
That was brilliant from Simoncic. He set it up really nicely at the final corner with a later apex, was able to get the drive off the corner and was kind of ahead before the braking zone, but still had to charge across and take the line from Yayovski. The two were so close, but that was a great move. Yayovski defended it as hard as he could, really, going to the inside, but in the end, Simoncic just that bit later on the brakes and assertive with his move.
Lap 5 of 7. Simoncic leading, Yayovski second, Huis is third, Marocek fourth, Romanides fifth. Van Buren has made a mistake, I think. He suddenly dropped down to 8th position, Rudy Van Buren, and Risto Capit's up to 6th. So I think a bit of a mistake there for the Dutchman. Gergo Baldi is now trying to defend his 17th place from Arnie Schoenvlet. This is very close for 17th place, and Simoncic now over a second ahead of Yayovski. So he's managed to make that gap stick. Here's the look to the inside from Arnie. We're looking at him in the bottom left. You can see the car there as he turns in. They're still wheel to wheel. Oh, there's a nudge. And they both survive just about.
And Schoenveit into the back of Baldi, just tapping, and they're still going at it now. Schoenveit's on the inside, and that one is looking like a much easier move, with most of it done before the braking zone. There they go, and through goes Arnie into 17th. But even how neither of them spun at that final corner, I don't know. Both held big slides, and then the move was done at the next.
Arne Schoenvliet. There we go. That's the pronunciation, I'm told. Arne Schoenvliet. Lap 6 of 7. Penultimate lap of the race. Here's what happened to Rudy Van Buren. Oh, he just lost that by himself. I think he has.
He's Dennis Linded it, hasn't he? In the same corner. I think he's probably just tried to turn in or brake from the curb. And that was what Lind did. We had a lovely shot of it on board with Capit when he was just following him. And I think Van Buren has done the same, proving that the best can do it.
8/10 of a second between the race leader, Jerne Simoncic, to Erhan Yayovski in second. Although, as I say that, Yayovski might have thrown it away. Yayovski might well be off the road. He's dropping down the order, down to 5th, down to 6th, down to 7th. It's all over for Erhan Yayovski as far as the battle for the win is concerned. The reigning champion is not going to score big points here today. He's just about got going again in 8th position, ahead of Michi Hoyer and Yuri Kastorp. So Simoncic now has a comfortable lead as he comes out to start the final lap of the race. Bono Huis in 2nd position, and 3rd is David Morocek. Final lap now for Jerne Simoncic, and this would be his first win since the first ever Race All-Star Series race at the Nürburgring, the weekend of the Australian Grand Prix. Here's what happened then to Erhan Yayovski. Just drifts a bit wide, does he? Oh.
Well, the voice of disgust there from Jack Nicholls, but
no, just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like it was just disappointment. That's the word. Here's Yuri Kastorp in 10th position, getting a bit oversteery. Coming out and across the line, he's right behind Michi Hoyer in 9th. Then it's Yayovski in front. Yayovski might lose out here to Michi Hoyer. He's having to defend as they come down into turn 1. Can Hoyer get around the outside of Yayovski? They're all getting a bit bulked behind Rudy von Buren, and Kastorp's trying to take advantage. All sorts of opposite lock coming through turn 2. And eventually, in the end, the order doesn't change, but Yayovski holds on to that 8th position. Simoncic, though, on the final lap of the race, leading the way.
Nice racing between all of them. I think that was all clean as well.
Here comes Jerne Simoncic. Up towards the final corner, through the left-hander, out across the line, and in the Sim Masters race, it is Jerne Simoncic that takes the victory, celebrates by wiggling around, and it's a great win for Simoncic. Here's a look at the results then. Jerne Simoncic taking the win, Bono Huis in 2nd place, David Morocek in 3rd. Michael Romanidis with a quiet drive ends up in 4th position. 5th for Risto Capit, Alex Siebel 6th, Rudy von Buren in 7th, 8th for Erhan Yayovski, 9th for Michi Hoyer, and 10th for Yuri Kastorp. Jerne, how was that for you?
Yeah, awesome to have like a car that suits me more than the like heavy and less downforce cars that Norma that we ran last event. But yeah, it is the same story as always in open wheel racing here in R Factor 2. You have to save the tires, even if it's like 7 lap race. Erhan destroyed his tires completely. He smoked them in the fast corners, and I just stayed behind him and attacked when he dropped off. And that was
so
it.
Could you see that? You could see, oh, he's using his tires too much here. This will come to me.
Yeah, every corner he was sliding, struggling. So also in before the race, I saw that he didn't have as good pace as compared to myself as in previous rounds. So I knew that I just have to wait and strike when my time comes.
Simoncic so happy to be back behind the wheel of high-powered single-seater race cars, and he is going to be a real championship contender. But when we come back, it's maybe the highlight of the event. The Legends drivers going head-to-head, Sebastian Vettel versus Jenson Button in 1970s Formula 1 cars. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series, powered by Rocket Phones, where we're about to get underway with the Legends Trophy. This has some of the greatest names in motorsport going head-to-head in 1970s Formula 1 cars, including Sebastian Vettel. The Ferrari Formula 1 driver is on the grid. Jenson Button, the 2009 Formula 1 World Champion, has taken pole. This is going to be great. Before the action, we caught up with Helio Castroneves.
This is a new championship, new format, a bit more of an open, open format for you. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, obviously, my expertise in the sims are not very good at the moment. But I tell you what, I'm having such a great time with the incredible drivers, incredible legends, and it's just so much fun, to get involved into this situation. So can't thank enough everyone to organize this, and I tell you what, I am looking for every Saturday to actually start practicing and racing against those guys. The only guy I want to beat is Gilles de Ferran because he actually is my neighbor, believe it or not. He lives just like 4 or 5 houses from me. So the only guy that I'm looking for is that one.
So the first race in the Legends Trophy, this 5-week series. Oh, as Franchitti jumped the start. I think Dario Franchitti might have jumped the start as they come down towards the first corner. Button and Pirro going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Pirro to the outside in the blue and orange machine. Button in his Brawn liveries goes deep in the brakes, and that is going to allow Magnussen to get up into second place. Is it? Pirro still holding it in second. The 3 might wipe out, and they do. And Dario Franchitti gets sideways as well. Button's been sent all the way to the back. Andy Prio is in the lead of the race. There's 2 cars in the gravel, and that is chaos. Franchitti up into second place.
Wow,
oh, Franchitti's off! Franchitti's had a big accident with Prio up at turn 4. So Juan Pablo Montoya now leads the race.
The chaos just continues. It's even more now up at turn 3 as well. Button's going to pass a couple of cars.
Plato's third!
Slowly. More chaos on the exit of 3.
Jason Plato has gone, I think, from 20th to 3rd position on the opening lap. And round goes Pirro again. Emanuele Pirouette living up to his nickname that we gave him, admittedly, and it is now Juan Pablo Montoya in the lead, Helio Castroneves second, Jason Plato in third, Tonio Liuzzi fourth, Jourdain in fifth, Solberg, Magnussen, Turner, Montero and Button, the rest of the top 10. Who needs a reverse grid race?
We really needn't have bothered with qualifying there, really. That was just, I mean, pick it out of a hat now for everyone. How Jason Plato has found his way through all that into 3rd place is amazing. Liuzzi as well started down in 16th, and he's up into 4th. I mean, absolute chaos, and it all came from everyone getting a bit excited on the brakes down at turn 1. Plato's just past Castroneves for second. There's another spinning car. That is Castroneves getting out wide. That's why he's dropped down. But yeah, everyone went in too deep for turn 1. Magnussen was a bit ambitious on the inside of Button for turn 2, a gap that was always going to shut, and the 2 favourites came to blows. And then it was just who could find the way around them the quickest.
So lap 2 of 8. And Jourdain going to the inside of Petter Solberg in their battle over 4th position. Solberg, whoa, that's not stopping, is it? Oh, it is. Jourdain was just early on the brakes, and that allowed Jan Magnussen to get past him. And Magnussen now up into 5th place. So Juan Pablo Montoya leading. It's close between Plato and Liuzzi for 2nd. Then Solberg is in 4th, Magnussen 5th, Jourdain 6th. And there's $25,000 US for the charity of their choice, up for the winner of the championship for these legends. And this is going to put a banner in the works as far as the championship is concerned, right from the opening race. And I think that, I don't know what happened with Franchitti, but I'm fairly sure he jumped the start, so may well end up getting a penalty for that. He's down in 13th place at the moment.
I'll tell you what, though, it's a longer race for the legends as well. 8 laps, and I think we can see some recovery drives, not least from Jan Magnussen as he dives past Solberg. Nice little cutback, though, from Petter Solberg, and he might just get that place back. Oh, no, Magnussen's gone. Exit of the hairpin, just got up on the curb accelerating, and he's spun again. So, well, his recovery drive's over. I've got to stop jinxing these guys.
This is Jenson Button watching Montero and Jourdain go side by side coming into the braking zone of the final corner. What can Button do to try and take advantage? He's recovering fairly well. He was down to 10th place and he could well be up to 5th by the, I was going to say by the end of this lap, maybe even by the start of this lap, because he's right in the slipstream of Jourdain as they come down into turn 1. And there is, oh, Liuzzi sends it on Petter Solberg, and he gets it done. Well done, Tonio Liuzzi. Nicely worked.
There's a bit of margin for braking for some of these guys, isn't there? Some people have really got their braking zones nailed. Oh dear, David Brabham, I think, was round there. And so he's the latest spinner. And here we go. There's a battle for
second.
Is that Plato that's the... Oh, no, I think they're lapping someone, aren't they?
No, that is Plato.
It is Plato.
So Plato in second in the rainbow on the side of the car. Liuzzi in the orange car in third. Fourth is Petter Solberg. We're on board with Liuzzi. Plato is over to the right of us. And it is Plato late on the brakes, too late on the brakes. I think he might be in the grass there, Plato. No, he keeps it together. And actually, he's going to get a good run off the corner and come back past them both. So he had lost out to Liuzzi. Montero's got past... Solberg's got past both of them and up into second place. Solberg now covering the inside line. Liuzzi goes between the middle of them into the right-hander, and he gets past both of them through the middle. Lovely.
What a move. He's so good on the brakes. Liuzzi. Plato a bit ambitious on the inside of turn 2, but makes it stick with a bit of wheel banging. Petter Solberg might be up for a bit of wheel banging back here because he's got the drive and the run up to turn 3, top of the hill.
Into the right-hander they come. Still right together. And they just about survive side by side into the left-hander. Is going to be a fun one. Does Solberg fancy around the outside? He does. Beautiful stuff from the World Rally Champion, but that's allowing Button to join the fight because Plato's getting the inside line here into this double right-hander, bails out of it, and we're on board now with Button in 5th. Oh, Solberg's in the gravel, and now Button's in 4th, and now Button's in 3rd.
This could be an absolute recovery drive for the ages for Jenson Button. He's still got to get past Jason Plato, which is no mean feat right now, but I think that might just be it as he goes in too deep at the hairpin. And Jenson Button has gone from pole to being binned off right to the back, and now he's in 3rd place, just a couple of seconds away from Liuzzi, which that's doable in the next 4 laps for Jenson. I think Montoya's got a nice 7.5 second buffer out front, but anything else is possible.
Tiago Monteiro, the Portuguese racer, in 5th place. He's got Emanuele Pirro right behind him now, so Pirro is climbing back up the field too. We're on lap, just about to start lap 5 of 8, so we're half race distance at the moment. Jan Magnussen is behind Darren Turner in their battle over 8th position. Into the hairpin. Oh, there's the nudge. Montero into the back of Plato, and that allows Emanuele Pirro through up into 5th position. We're on board with Darren Turner, who's just lost 8th place to Jan Magnussen, but he might fancy a look back down at turn 1.
Pulls out of the slipstream quite early and actually just seemed to blend out of the throttle before going really deep on the brakes there, Darren Turner. Not the more conventional technique, but these are the Legends racers, so I won't comment too much on that. But yeah, Pirro's having a great drive as well, from the front row down to the back as well, caught up in that Button incident. And now he's back to 5th. That's the replay of Franchitti jump starting, but then he backed out of it so much that everyone else sort of carried on past him. I don't
think he jumped the start, though. That's the weird part of it. It looked as though the lights went out, then Franchitti moved, no one else moved, so he sort of hit the brakes again, but it certainly looked from that replay as though the lights did go out, so that's a bit of a curious one. On board with Sebastian Vettel in the top right, the 4 times world champion. Amazing to have him here in the Race Legends Trophy, and we'll see what he can do over if he decides to stick with us for the remainder of the series, whether he can get up to the pace with the drivers in front. He's about to gain a place here, I think, going to the inside and getting a move done.
Yep, past Emerson Fittipaldi, I think that was, for Sebastian Vettel.
Button is now less than a second away from Tonio Liuzzi in the fight over 2nd place. So I think that's going to be the big fight in the final couple of corners. And Plato, in fact, still has Thiago Monteiro right behind him. And then it's Magnussen and Solberg right behind them.
Great scraps we've got. This is Monteiro coming through past Plato, but Plato's going to stick a nose in on the next right. I don't think that's going to work. Can he get a run down at the hairpin now? Left-hander coming up. And what can Plato do? He's got Jan Magnussen trying to pass both of them on the inside.
One doesn't go, but it somehow has. And Magnussen gets past them both. We're on board with Petter Solberg. as he's right up behind Plato. He's trying to get the run on the British touring car champion. There you can see Solberg in the bottom left. Oh, that's a big slide. Just holds it.
Great racing. Great racing. So we've got the 3 front. Oh, thought that was going to be a wipeout for Solberg there on the back of Jason Plato. Came in so hot to the that corner there.
Button on Liuzzi, top right. Button is right behind Tonio Liuzzi in the battle for second place as they come out across the line to start the penultimate lap. Petter Solberg sends it up the inside of Plato, but Button gets the inside on Liuzzi. Side by side into turn 1, and that should be the inside and the second place for Jenson Button. Nicely done. Vettel up to 16th place meanwhile, after that overtake on Emerson Fittipaldi. Oh no, surely not. How are these 4 still driving? This is amazing stuff.
I've never seen anything like it. They're 4 wide into pretty much every corner. It's just absolutely incredible. Interchanging positions all the time. Petter Solberg now is the lead of this bunch with Thiago Montero, Jason Plato and Darren Turner now in there as well. And still, they've had the occasional touch, sure, but they're basically racing super fairly and chaotically at the same time.
Turner's just sent one on Plato, so Turner up into 8th. The 2 former teammates in BTCC, if I recall correctly, in the Seats.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah, I think that's right. Petter Solberg then running in 6th place ahead of Thiago Montero in 7th position. Button, as you say, up into 2nd and still 8.5 seconds away from Montoya, so I don't think that's going to work out. Solberg and Montero still fighting over 6th position. Solberg goes in deep. Montero gets the cutback, is now on the outside. Solberg still there on the inside on the penultimate lap. Oh, not neat through there for Solberg, although Montero didn't really take advantage of that and was a bit odd through that corner himself. So Montoya still out in the lead. Button 2nd, Liuzzi 3rd, Pirro 4th, Magnussen 5th, Solberg, Montero, Plato, Prio, Franchitti, Prio, the rest of the top 10. And this is on board with Montero. Final lap of the race now for Juan Pablo Montoya, the race leader. And oh, Montero doesn't quite fancy it up into 4. Solberg goes in a bit hot. Going to be side by side now through 5 and 6, which is maybe a little bit risky. Does Montero send it? He does, but runs out of grip quite quickly. Juan Pablo Montoya leading the way in the top right. The battle is on for the final podium position as well. Button hasn't got away from Liuzzi, and Pirro has joined this fight. So Emanuele Pirro can see the top 3 in front of him as they come down into the final corner. Here's Montoya across the line to win in Malaysia and go to the top of the standings. Oh, and Liuzzi's off. Pirro might have biffed him at the final corner. Button 2nd across the line, and it is Pirro, after a very busy race, that comes home in 3rd position. So Juan Pablo Montoya taking the win. Jenson Button 2nd in the race Legends Trophy. Emanuele Pirro in 3rd after a bit of battle with Tonio Liuzzi in 5th position. Solberg 6th, Franchitti 7th, Plato 8th, Andy Prio 9th, and David Brabham 10th. Juan Pablo, congratulations. I mean, that first couple of corners was crazy busy, and then you had the road to yourself.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, the problem with these cars, when you touch, the thing takes off anywhere. You don't know where you're going to head out. So I just tried to stay out of everybody's way, and kind of the road kind of cleaned itself. So it was pretty cool. It's always fun. It's always insane. You know, we're so competitive. It makes it a lot of fun. And honestly, it's hard enough just to keep it on the road. When you're driving and, you know, you're sliding and you're looking at, okay, I got 7 seconds, so don't worry. And even when you say don't worry, you're about to go off on every corner.
A very happy and kind of straightforward race in the end then for Juan Pablo Montoya, who moves to the top of the Legends Trophy standings. When we come back, we'll get underway with the first of 3 reverse grid races. First up for the pro drivers. See you then. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. The first pro race saw Esteban Gutierrez take the win for Mercedes. The other Mercedes driver, Anthony Davidson, is on pole for the reverse grid race. Can Mercedes make it 2 out of 2 in the pro class? Let's find out. Okay, here we go then. Alex Buncombe starting in 39th on the grid. These 40 cars get underway, and it's a lot of wheel spin for Anthony Davidson, and he loses the lead straight away. Gabby Chavez has to be considered a front runner because he usually is up in the order. Davidson onto the brakes into turn 1, everybody piling in, and Davidson holds the lead. Oh, does he for long? Chavez is there on the inside. And eventually, Gabby Chavez gets out in front, James Pull in third, and look on board with Alex Buncombe. It's chaos down at turn 2.
Still fighting for the lead. Davidson's on the inside of Chavez. That's not going to be an easy one for Chavez to keep. And Davidson has the inside and has the lead. So far, all the drivers racing very cleanly, and brilliant stuff at the front from Anthony Davidson, holding the lead from Gabby Chavez, who was a sort of pre-season favourite.
There you can see Anthony Davidson in the bottom left on his rig that the Mercedes gang have given him. And is that Alex Buncombe up into 10th? It is. And he's going to take 3 positions here. No, not quite. I thought that had all opened up for Buncombe. He has managed to get him into 8th place, but he had a bit of a hit there as well. So that might have given him a little bit of damage as he now has to try and get past Aidan Millwood coming down into the hairpin. Millwood gets a little bit out of shape. Davidson still leading, Chavez second. And Bradley has just got past James Pull. In fact, James Pull's off the circuit, so he's dropping down the order.
Gutierrez as well is up to 12th, and depending on how quickly James Pull can get himself back on track, I think Pull's back on ahead of Gutierrez still. Oh, spin there. That might be Pull again, actually. It is.
Pull the other one as he goes off at the penultimate corner. Someone having a big tank slapper across the road as well towards the barriers. But Buncombe up into 7th, Gutierrez up into 11th, having started in sort of 38th, 39th positions. Oh, round, and that was Sebastian Montoya rotating at the final corner now. So Buncombe up into 7th. An incredible drive. Maybe the championship isn't going to be quite as mixed up as we thought. As we look on board in the bottom left at Aidan Millwood, he's wearing a Williams t-shirt this week. He was wearing a Fleetwood Town shirt last week.
Gutierrez is gone. Gutierrez
was that Gutierrez
on the start-finish straight, I think. He must have hit someone, and he's gone. So that's huge for the championship because Buncombe is looking like he can score big points if he can just stay out of trouble.
Oh, we are on lap 2. And, someone else off on the inside. That might have been Seb Morris, or was it Nicky Team?
Johnny Adam, I think.
Oh, okay. Third time I could have guessed it, probably. That was going to be my next guess. As we go on board with Alex Buncombe in the top right. He's trying to get past Aidan Millwood. So Johnny Adam out of the running on lap 2 of 7. Buncombe right up behind Millwood. Looks to the inside into the hairpin. And that's 6th place now for Buncombe. Nicky Team and Esteban Gutierrez side by side coming down into the first corner, and Team was very confident there, moving back in front of Guerrieri, and manages to hold on to that 12th position. Chavez in second. Anthony Davidson has settled really nicely into the lead here because Gabby Chavez has a lot of pace. He was a front runner in the championship last time out, and he's not getting close to Davidson.
And then Davidson's just he's just ticking away there, isn't he? With good pace, 2.5, just starting to gap Chavez. And then there's a bit more of a gap back to Bradley and then Spengler. But yeah, Davidson's just in a nice rhythm, it seems, right now. Just coaxing that gap back to Gabby Chavez, as you say, who we thought would be quicker. He's doing a good job, Davidson.
Sebastian Priaulx to the inside of Aidan Millwood. Makes the move. Millwood loses a place. Behind the two of them is Philip Eng, who's been very quiet so far today, really. The BMW Works driver. Well, bye-bye Millwood. Oh, and Eng's gone as well. But there's Ant Davidson. Great race this is. 1.2 seconds ahead of Gabby Chavez at the moment. I think Chavez is closing in, but there you can see Davidson in the bottom left.
Yeah, Davidson, he's lost a tiny bit of ground the last lap, but yeah, he's still with over a second margin, more than halfway through the race. That's going to be a shunt from Job van Uytert, and he's just tapped, I think, Kevin Hansen as well. And the two of them go around, and that's a nasty place to rejoin, but Hansen's done it quite well. Van Uytert just way out of control coming into that corner, and biffed Hansen around.
And we're on lap 5 of 7 now, and I think Gabby Chavez has made a mistake because suddenly Davidson has a 6-second lead over him.
That's going to make him far more relaxed now. 3 to go. Davidson's got this in the bag now, just needs to keep it in a straight line. Easier said than done because these cars are so difficult to drive, particularly on traction, and we've seen so many have an error. But Davidson now doesn't need to absolutely wring the neck of his Formula race car. He can just breathe slightly easier because Chavez, as you say, has just dropped by about 4 seconds on that last lap.
Someone running a little bit wide onto the grass there, and I think Richard Bradley takes advantage of that, and we're on board with Seb Priaulx, who after his great race is now in 7th position, right behind Bradley in the fight over 6th.
Yeah, I think it was Bradley Smith that dropped back from the back of Bradley, Richard Bradley, but that's why Smith drops another place to Nicky Thiem. And here we go, Seb Priaulx on to the back of Richard Bradley for 6th place, as you say. Great drive he's having. DRS open, he might have a lunge here on the inside.
Quite close enough. Oh, they both go in deep. Oh, bit of opposite lock for Priaulx. Really wrestling the car. Can he get up into that 6th spot?
Bradley's going to have to defend this on the inside. And he's not. Oh, he's late on the brakes though, Richard Bradley. And he might just survive there. Priaulx with the cutback. He'll get a straighter exit as well through the right kink. But Richard Bradley just hanging on. And look behind, Nicky Thiem is joining this duo. Oh, there we go. Richard Bradley's round. Same corner as the synchronized spinners. And he's looped it in exactly the same way.
So he drops down the order, and Seb Priaulx now is up into 6th position. So Davidson leading, having a great drive. Gabby Chavez 2nd, Bruno Spengler 3rd, De Francesco 4th, Alex Buncombe 5th, Priaulx, Thiem, Guerrieri, Smith, Gutierrez, the rest of the top 10. So Gutierrez had a moment earlier. Oh dear! Tristan Vautier having to take evasive action because someone was sideways across the road. And Vautier manages to avoid, comes back on track, has a collision. Another car goes spinning around. Davidson out in front, and Buncombe's got past De Francesco. Well, they're side by side for 4th position. Johnny Adam up in the top right is trying to make places. These races today have been brilliant. I've been absolutely loving this. And here comes Buncombe to the outside of De Francesco. Buncombe in the green car representing Bentley Motorsport. Can't get the job done yet, but he wants that 4th position, which would be great for Bentley in the team's standings. Looks to the outside, coming into 5. Oh, if he can do this, this will be quite the move. Buncombe still side by side, and he's through. Lovely stuff from Alex Buncombe, who I believe is racing off a 4G kind of dongle connection, and he's now up into 4th place.
With a brilliant move there, right around the outside, braving it around Devlin De Francesco. And Devlin there racing very fairly as well. But, Nicky Thiem's in the wars. He's lost a front wing from the top 10. But, yeah, brilliant move there from Buncombe. Had to be clean as well because the championship points at stake there. He couldn't afford on the last lap to get in a needless tangle. But he did a clean move. It was a brilliant move. And he's up into 4th.
Davidson through the final left-hander for the final time. And Anthony Davidson wins the 2nd race in the Pro Cup in Malaysia. What a great drive. A win from pole position. But Alex Buncombe surely is going to hold on to the lead of the championship as he comes across the line in 4th place. Wonderful recovery drive, having started in 39th place on the grid. Now here's a look at the results. Anthony Davidson taking the win. Bruno Spengler in 2nd place in the end, ahead of Gabby Chavez. Alex Buncombe from 39th up to 4th. Devlin De Francesco completed the top 5. Seb Priaulx with a great drive from the back up to 6th. Esteban Guerrieri in 7th, Bradley Smith 8th, 9th for Esteban Gutierrez, and 10th for Philip Eng. Well, let's hear from the race winner, shall we? That was a really impressive drive, Anthony. Were you expecting it to go like that, the race?
You honestly should have seen me a few days ago on this rig trying to get it all up and running. And if someone had told me then that I would have won a race this weekend, I would never have believed them. But yeah, I was surprised to start 2nd on the grid as well. It's all been a new thing for me this weekend. So yeah, everything was coming at me thick and fast. I made a complete hash of the first qualifying or the only qualifying that we had. I didn't realise that the session had actually started, so I got out there too late, and then spun on the only lap that I had. So yeah, learning quickly here. But I've never really been a fan of reverse grids, I must say, but I'm starting to reconsider.
Okay. Here's a look at the Pro Cup standings then after the first two races. Alex Buncombe is on top, but only 4 points ahead of Esteban Gutierrez and 10 points ahead of Esteban Guerrieri in what was a very, very tightly fought first two races. But wins in both races for Mercedes-AMG Petronas Esports mean they are at the top of the Pro Cup Teams Championship, ahead of Bentley, with Aston Martin lying in third. When we come back, it'll be the reverse grid race for the Sim Masters. Make sure you join us. Welcome back to the Race All-Stars series powered by Rocket Phones, where it's time for our penultimate race of the day, the reverse grid race for the Sim Masters. So that means Jurnej Simoncic and Erhan Jajovski are going to be at the back of the grid. Kevin Siggy is going to be starting on pole position. Let's join the action. The cars are lined up on the grid, ready to go, with Kevin Siggy on pole position, Rudy van Buren starting in 25th place, David Greco is third as the race gets underway. Down towards turn one, and I think Kevin Siggy's got a reasonable getaway. We're on board with Borja Milan coming into turn one. It's side by side for the lead, getting squeezed up towards the inside line, and Zviers goes through, but he runs wide. Siggy gets back underneath. David Greco is into 5th position. I think Siggy got pushed out wide. Alan Terzic has got up into 3rd place. Peo Pev is in 4th spot. Here they come into turn 4. Are we all safely through? Rudy van Buren's not. Goodness me, what happened with him there? And was that one of the Simoncic? I think that might even have been Simoncic that van Buren had that collision with. But it's Zviers out in front. Siggy, Terzic, Pev, Greco, the top 5.
Yeah, Zviers was super aggressive in turns 1 and 2. Van Buren's going past more stricken cars further back. But yeah, Zviers super late on the brakes into turn 1 and then just elbowed Siggy wide really at turn 2 and made first place his own. So he's got the lead, but only just for now. Super close.
The top 3 have really broken away, haven't they, from Peo Pev in 4th?
Yeah, that gives Terzic and Siggy. We said before how quick they are. Siggy now tucked in behind the slipstream of Zviers. He's going to have a chance down at turn 1 potentially. Zviers defends. Siggy, can he do it all the way around the outside? Is he going to need to? Salt the dummy.
Side by side for the lead, and it is still Zviers who holds on in front of Kevin Siggy. As they come down now, up towards turn 4. Kevin Siggy coming up into the right-hander. He races for Team Redline along with Rudy van Buren. And the race leader Jordi Sveers is a single event qualifier, so we might see him in all the races, but he has to qualify for it every week, basically. Kasper Stolzer in the gravel, and that promotes a few drivers up places. I think Yuri Kastorp now up into 10th place. Brendan Lee's running in 8th position. This now is Peo Pev just in front of David Greco as they come down towards the final corner. Peo Pev, the experienced Bulgarian. Whoa, Greco's so late on the brakes into the back of him, and the classic nudge pass at Druids, that, and Greco's up into 4th.
And I think that explains why we're seeing a few broken front wings, because that was pretty aggressive and pretty hard into the back of Pev there from Greco. And he might well lose the place. He might lose 2 places because Brzezinski's coming up the inside as well. There's contact again. And then all of that, Brzezinski, I think, has made it up into 4th, has he?
Correct. So Kuba Brzezinski up into 4th, Greco 5th, Pev, Lee, Millen, Ryan, Kasdorp, the rest of the top 10. Brendan Lee racing for the Mercedes AMG Petronas esports team, running in 7th spot at the moment, trying to get past Peo Pev. Lee, a 2 times F1 esports champion, on the inside of Peo Pev, and that is 6th place now for the man from Reading.
Pev didn't defend that one at all. That was simple pickings there for Brendan Lee, who's done a nice job there. And Pev is the man that started at the front and is dropping back more than anyone else.
Well, Millen's still holding on to that 8th position. Yuri Kastorp trying to find a way through. There's Alan Terzic we're on board with in 3rd place. So look at this, the top 3 all together into the final corner, and this is going to be quite the fight as we start lap 5 of 7 now. Sveers ahead of Siggy, ahead of Terzic, 3 for the lead. Siggy and Terzic are going to have DRS on the run down into turn 1. Siggy can't find the inside, has to go to the outside, but he's almost got it done before the braking. Oh, he fires it in. Jordi Sveers absolutely fires it in on the brakes. Siggy looks like he might hold the place still. They run a little bit wide. They're going to be 3 wide here. Terzic needs to be careful not to get wiped out by the 2 of them in front. Still, Sveers in front. Siggy to the outside, and here comes Alan Terzic to the inside in the yellow car. Can he take both places? No, somehow Sveers holds on. He's on the grass, but now Terzic gets alongside. 2 positions in 1. Alan Terzic into the lead. Still on board with Siggy, who goes around the outside at turn 5. Lovely stuff.
Brilliant racing there. Wow, what a move from Terzic on the inside. I think Sveers was so busy defending from Siggy that he completely left Terzic basically unmarked on the inside. So nice move from Terzic. Sveers was so aggressive to Kevin Siggy, more than I think we've ever really seen from these sim drivers, but he was elbows out lap 1 and then was so late on the brakes defending turn 1, just tipped Siggy into a sort of half spin. It all allowed Terzic to close and then pass. Siggy really kind of didn't do a lot wrong, but just fought so hard with Sveers that Terzic from 3rd slingshotted past both of them.
Let's have a look at this. This is Nikodem Wisniewski. What's he up to? Oh dear. Oh dear. And that is like, oh my goodness, it just keeps going. And that is the worst start to a Grand Prix that I've ever seen in the whole of my life. Oh, Jordi Sveers is off. After praising his Photoshop skills, he's down behind Yuri Kastorp. Michi Hoyer is now in 8th position. Peo Pev 9th. Romanidis 10th. Is Dennis Lind running in 15th position. Up behind Lucas Blakely, the Scot, who we're on board with now. But yeah, that's a real shame, actually, because Sveers was doing well. And Brendan Lee now is up into 4th position. We're on board with Dennis Lind, both in the game and in the bottom left, as he looks to the inside of... No, Blakely covers the inside. Someone's having a big lock-up in front. And it's 3 wide. And Simoncic takes them both. Jurnej Simoncic goes past Blakely and past Dennis Lind. And Simoncic now finds himself up into 14th place.
Yeah, nice move from Simoncic, making progress from the back of the field. Lind's also going to pass Blakely, so Blakely's lost 2 places in 2 corners as they head onto the brakes for turn 1, unless he can keep a nose in at 2, which he can't. And yeah, Simoncic, oh, Blakely into the back there of Dennis Lind, and both got away with it, and Lind in fact found another couple of car lengths. But yeah, good move from Simoncic, making ground. And he's our championship leader, having won the first race. He's got to try and pick up as many points as possible from the back, and he's doing that with a move like that, 2 in 1. Here we go, Terzic, final corner.
Alan Terzic out across the line, and he wins race 2 in the Sim Masters. A really good drive, a really good overtake for the win. Kevin Siggy from pole to second, and Kuba Brzezinski with a really strong run to finish in 3rd place. So Alan Terzic takes the win, Kevin Siggy in 2nd place, Kuba Brzezinski 3rd, Lee in 4th, David Greco 5th, Yuri Kazdorp in 6th. Jordi Zveers unlucky after a great run towards the front of the order. He dropped back down the field, did Zveers. And then we've got Michi Hoyer, Peo Pev and Michael Romanidis completing the top 10. How was that race for you? Was qualifying not great, but in the end a decent result for race 2?
Yeah, well, qualifying, I made a mistake on the second to last corner, lost half a second there. So qualifying wasn't good. Then race 1 was a subsequent result of being in a bad grid position. Then race 2, we made up a good few positions off the line and kept on fighting all the way through. So it was a good result in race 2.
So Brendan Lee's strong second race means that Mercedes are in 2nd place in the Sim Masters Teams Championship, but Burst Esport are still out in front. As far as the drivers are concerned, Jerne Simoncic's strong race means that he is at the top of the standings, just ahead of Brendan Lee's teammate Bono Huis at Mercedes AMG. Kuba Brzezinski and Michael Romanidis are tied in 3rd. When we come back, it's the reverse grid race for the Legends Trophy. Sebastian Vettel is going to be starting in 7th place on the grid. Jenson Button is going to be starting right at the back. It's going to be frantic. Welcome back to the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. We're about to get going with the final race of the day, the Reverse Grid Legends Race. Sebastian Vettel is going to be starting 7th, Adrian Fernandez is on pole position, Jenson Button is at the back of the grid. This is going to be thrilling. Sebastian Vettel is 7th on the grid. Adrian Fernandez starts on pole as the race gets underway. Papis in 2nd, Plato in 3rd. Immediately Liuzzi moves to the inside. Vettel's got a clean getaway. Jan Magnussen hasn't though. And I think David Brabham might be upside down. Button we're on board with in the top right. As he sends it up the inside, off goes Liuzzi. And Vettel's up to 4th already. And then it's Andy Prio behind him, but Fernandez, Plato, Papis, Vettel, the top 4. Fernandez very wide. That could give Jason Plato an opportunity to lead the race. Vettel's under pressure from Andy Prio. Turner, Serbia, Solberg. Oh, big slide for Prio, and he's going back across the track. Whoa, everybody avoids him. That was a close one. Fernandez out in front.
Yeah, somehow everyone avoided Prio losing it completely across the track, including Magnussen up to 8th, Button up to 9th, and Montoya up to 10th already. Huge gains amidst a bit of chaos further back, and they're 3 that we got to watch out for coming through, as well as Sebastian Vettel up in 4th from 7th on the grid, and well, 2 of those places with 2 people wiping each other out into turn 1, but yeah, he's made someone else, he's made it past someone else, and now he's on the defence.
Turner then coming up into 3rd place at the inside of Vettel. Vettel gets the cut back though and holds on to 3rd position for the time being. The 2 go wheel to wheel, and Vettel is still in 3rd. Is he? No. Turner's got the inside. Vettel almost getting hit from behind. 2 people went spinning further back. I think that was Franchitti and Montoya, those 2 old rivals who once finished level on points at the top of a kart championship, as in the American kart series rather than actual go-karting. But Turner in 3rd. Solberg in 4th now, ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Button's got it all involved in the business, and I think Vettel might have dropped down the order.
Yeah, I think he lost it turning into that corner there. Tricky right-hander, and he looked like he was just oversteering, and there he is rejoining down in 19th.
Vettel down to 19th place. That'll be so frustrating for him. Fernandez in front still. Plato 2nd, Turner 3rd, Solberg 4th. Adrian Fernandez doing a good job out in front at the moment, and I think that's Franchitti in 12th, who's trying to get past Mario Dominguez for 11th place. Big slide for Franchitti. finds the inside now, and that should be job done. A little bit of wheel banging, but Franchitti is through.
Plato's tumbling down the order. Turner up to second, Solberg third, and Plato seems to have recovered in seventh.
As we see the replay then of Jason Plato. Oh, just losing the rear. He nearly held it as well. Down the back straight. Pirro in the toe. Does Magnussen fancy the move? Oh, big slide from Darren Turner in second place. That's going to bring Petter Solberg a little bit closer to him. We're on board with Jan Magnussen, top right. Can he get past Servia this time? Coming down into turn one. He's gone to the outside of the Spaniard. Former IndyCar racer, former Formula E racer as well. And Servia, oh, Magnussen turns in. That's a bit rude, and I think Magnussen might have been fired off there. Pirro's in front of him now. Did Montoya get through as well? No, so Magnussen managed to just about carry on.
Yeah, Montoya is now through on the exit, though. Yeah, you're right, he just turned in there on Oriol Servia, didn't get the move done. And if you can't get it done on the brakes or the straight, you can't just turn in assuming that your rival's gone. He was still there, and Magnussen there has himself to blame.
Vettel to Magnussen now is 1.5 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how far away he is at the end of the race. He's got to get past Dominguez first, which that's an interesting line into the first of the two right-handers. And I think he'll be ahead of Dominguez pretty soon. Down towards turn the hairpin. Not quite close enough.
Dominguez in a bit hot, though. Now Vettel might just be able to slide underneath him at the apex. We look back. That's not Dominguez, is it? Where is Dominguez in all of this? Vettel, he's past him. So that's Mika Salo as well coming past Dominguez. So Vettel up to 12th. And now, yeah, we can see 1.7 seconds to Jan Magnussen, both with a bit of clear air in front. Let's see Vettel's pace, because he had that spin early on. We haven't quite managed to see what he can really do yet.
Here's a replay of Sebastian Vettel, and I think this is a replay of his move at the hairpin up the inside of Dominguez. And yeah, Dominguez made that fairly easy for him in the end, didn't he?
That's where then Vettel got back through then, because I was surprised initially. You look back and couldn't see Dominguez, but he couldn't get round the right-hander. He was so tight, and that right-hander looks like it should be easy flat. It is in modern Formula 1 cars, but not in these.
Fernandez doing a really good job, actually. We haven't seen him racing at the front. Way, there goes Montoya. Sends it up the inside of Servia, but then slots back in behind.
Yeah, couldn't make it stick. Super ambitious. He's going to get the slipstream again, coming down the main straight here. Servia knows it and is defending immediately. And where's Montoya? He's alongside. He's ahead coming down to the braking zone, and he's later on the brakes for good measure as well. If he can just get it back for the inside of turn 2, that'll be job done for Juan Pablo, and gives Servia a little clip as well as he goes through. So nice move, up to 5th.
We're on board now with Emanuele Pirro, the Italian, coming down the start-finish straight to start the penultimate lap of the race in this reverse grid Legends Trophy. What can he do? Looks to the outside. Tries to send it all the way around the outside. That's going to be bold. Can't quite pull it off. All of this is allowing Darren Turner to settle down a little bit in second place. Look at that. He's already miles up the road now.
Yeah, just one lap ago, he was under pressure from Solberg, but Solberg might have to defend more from Pirro here, up towards turn 3. And Pirro, if he fancies it on the brakes, might have a look. Now he does. Surely that's too hot in, and Solberg's going to cut back underneath him, side by side into the left. But Solberg doing it. This is brilliant racecraft from Petter Solberg as well. Something he didn't know he had in his locker.
7 of 8 on board with Pirro. You can see Solberg in the bottom left. Can Pirro find that podium place on the last lap, which I think would put him to the top of the championship, to be honest with you? He'd certainly be up there. Maybe not actually, because Montoya's only one place behind him, but it will be close between Montoya and Pirro. Button, I'm not quite sure where Button has gone, or / why he hasn't recovered quite so well as some of the others. Maybe more
Button
incidents
dropped
for the
back a while ago.
2009.
He dropped back a few laps and lost some ground. Solberg's about to drop back because, again, he's done the wet line around that corner. Doesn't like the apex there. And that always leaves him under a big pressure from Pirro. And Pirro might have a little look at the inside. This is always a cheeky move if you can get it. But again, looks to the outside to try and open it up. Look at Solberg just rallying towards the exit, drifting the car again. And he's still ahead of Pirro. Penultimate lap coming into the final corner. Not a lot of overtaking chances left if Pirro can't make it through here.
Holds it for the moment. Oh, he's got in a bit deep there, Solberg, and now's that Pirro. Has he got it now up into third place? Yes, he has, but Solberg is right behind him. He knows he's made the... Go to the inside! Go to the inside is the message. And Solberg ignores it, goes to the outside on the run down into the first corner, and he can't get through. But that's some serious driving advice there. The pointing, would you... that's great. That's race engineering to a new level. Into the final corner. Adrian Fernandez wins the Legends Trophy race in Malaysia with the Race All-Star Series. And he is delighted with that one. Huge smile on his face. Here's a look at the results. Adrian Fernandez with the win, Turner second, Pirro third, Solberg fourth, Button recovered to 8th position with Franchitti and Jan Magnussen completing the top 10. Adrian, congratulations, a really good race from you in the end. You managed to get clear of all the chaos behind and drive away.
Yeah, well, that's what didn't happen in the first race, and I'm very glad it happened this time. And I don't know who was trying to pass me on the first lap, on the first corners, but then I managed to break away, and it was about being consistent and stay calm, not make mistakes. As you can see, these cars are not easy to drive, but I'm very, very excited. I haven't felt like this in a while. You know, I'm 57, so it's like I'm coming back.
That's great stuff. Are you feeling like you can get more towards the front in this field now? Because you've been doing it a couple of weeks.
Yes, you know, there is a lot of little things that you can, improve. Juan Pablo Montoya has been helping me a lot. We are neighbors here in Miami. And, I'm learning a lot about this and getting better and better. You know, the field is not the same field in the real life as this. So you have to get used to your rig, your steering wheel, your pedals, and things like that. But I'm getting better, and, this is a great boost. So I'm very happy. Here, celebrating with Luna and my wife.
Congratulations. Adrian Fernandez, race winner again.
Thank you.
Juan Pablo Montoya on top of the championship, 4 points ahead of Emanuele Pirro, with Jenson Button lurking there in third despite a difficult second race. Petter Solberg and Darren Turner completing the top 5. Well, what action we've had in those 6 events in the Race All-Star Series powered by Rocket Phones. And that's only round 1. We've got 4 more rounds to come before we decide the title winner in our 3 classes. We'll see you for round 2.